The Sonic the Hedgehog franchise is home to a vast array of bright and colourful furry friends. And some scaly friends too. They'll get their own video soon. Don't worry. Now, this is something the Sonic franchise is known for, and you'd be forgiven for assuming all Sonic fans are deranged little furries. Yeah, only the first half is true. But in a world of characters so bright and so colourful, it's very easy for some to go overlooked. How many times have you heard anyone talk about Heavy and Bomb? I mean, for many, this video might be the first you ever heard of the pair, which is a real shame. However, I'm not here to talk about niche or forgotten Sonic characters, albeit that'd make a great video. Let me save that in my notes real quick. No, I'd like to talk about one specific character that, through being shown an immense amount of love from their very first appearance in what was for a while an overlooked fighting game, has persisted for so long and is a fan favourite within the Sonic community. That character is none other than Big the Cat! I'm joking.
Gotcha, didn't I?
That character is none other than Honey the Cat. A lot of Sonic fans are aware of her origin, but it bears repeating as it's just so fascinating and such a humble beginning to a character so dearly beloved. So, during 1995, SEGA was working on Fighting Vipers, a fighting game for the SEGA Saturn. While developing a character for that game, an AM2 developer experimented with putting 3D models of Sonic characters into the game's engine. This caught the attention of Yu Suzuki, who later delivered the concept of a Sonic fighting game to Hiroshi Kataoka, the head of AM2, who then pitched the idea to YUJI Naka, who, surprisingly, fucked with the concept heavy. This then led to continuing experimentation with Fighting Viper's engine, later modifying it and simplifying it to work better with Sonic characters. And there was one unused character in the game's files which was inspired by a character from Fighting Vipers of the same name. That character was Honey the Cat. And can I just say I love these stories. It truly is a very humble and honestly niche beginning to the character many fans adore today. It's cute and really makes you marvel at the world we live in. Hey, I must interrupt this video here as something unforeseen has happened. A family that I'm great friends with was out one day and came back to their house on fire. Many items were damaged, with others completely taken up by flames. My heart goes out to this family, as losing your home to fire can be one of the most devastating events you can go through, and I empathize with them deeply. Another friend has taken initiative and set up a GoFundMe page to replace their lost possessions. To all who can, please donate. The link will be in the description. However, to those who can't, you can still express support in the comments, or you can give your compassion to the family. Thank you for your time. Unfortunately, Honey was not fully implemented into the game. So for a while, not many fans even knew she existed, which is a shame. However, this does take a bright turn, so bear with. Something else I have to touch on, because I've not seen it brought up nearly as much as it should be, which is extremely concerning, is the fact that Fighting Vipers Honey was extremely objectified and sexualized. Oh, why is that a problem, you ask? Because Honey is canonically 16! Oh, but in Japan, the age of consent can it, lest you'd like to save your breath for the court. I hate that I have to say this, but this issue has persisted for so long that it's nauseating. No child in any culture, under any circumstances, should be subject to sexualization. That's not on, and it isn't okay. And in case the people at the back didn't hear, the sexualization of children is never okay. Never. I don't care about whatever you'll use to try and excuse this, pedophilia is not okay. And nobody of any age, race, gender, orientation, background, sex, skin color, shape, or size should be subject to unwanted sexualization. No, they don't do it to themselves. When someone wants to show off their body, they're not doing it for you. They're doing it to feel good about themselves. And if anyone in my community thinks otherwise, you are not welcome here, and I ask that you be removed either by choice or by force. But yeah, Honey was extremely sexualized, which is so upsetting to me. In the Japanese version of the game, when shipping away her armor, Honey will reveal a bra and a G-string, which is beyond incredibly fucked up. Also in the Japanese version, there is an extremely racy photo of Honey for her ending, showing her in a bra cupping her right breast. This shit is censored, and I don't want any of you getting ideas. End of discussion. Now, back to Honey from Sonic. Decades later, within the Sonic Gems collection, players got into Sonic the Fighters code and files and found Honey the cat amongst them, and managed to make her playable. Now, she was buggy, but players fell in love. Not literally, again, she's 16. What's interesting here is this is one of the rare occasions where Sonic fans really enjoyed something janky. Oh, so you do like buggy Sonic gameplay? Nevertheless, this was just the beginning, as if two players were to select is a strong word, utilize Honey's files in the game, one player would have an alternate color scheme. This time her face is purple and her outfit is blue. This is fascinating because all other characters have their player 2 model in grayscale. What's remarkable is that Honey's data was not complete. What's more is that if she's squashed by Amy's Pico Pico hammer or attacked with Bark's fist pound, it will show her in Amy's outfit. Also, her moveset is based on many other characters in the game, with her only unique animation being her idle stance. However, there's data in the files that seems to suggest she was meant to have a kiss move, which would have resulted in the opponent blushing with heart eyes. But I understand why that wasn't implemented. One bug that plagued her in the arcade and Sonic Gems version was a glitch with her eyes where one would focus on the opponent and one would focus on the camera. However, the cutscene after Metal Sonic's defeat fixes this. Also, Honey's alternate costume is featured in the SEGA Saturn intro clip for fighting Vipers. This was fun and all, but players really wanted her to be officially playable, and they were in luck, because in 2012, SEGA re-released Sonic the Fighters on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and in that re-release, Honey was officially made playable. This was great news, and fans loved her and have ever since. Classic W for the Honey the Cat fans. But not only this, as Honey was slowly beginning to appear in the Sonic Archie Comics. Honey's first appearance was on the cover of Sonic Universe issue 40, published in 2012. However, it wasn't until issue 268 she made her official debut in 2015, a whole 3 years later. In this issue, a tournament is held by Breezy the Hedgehog, with a prize being a Chaos Emerald. No, seriously, how do people get their hands on Chaos Emeralds so easily? Eggman could and has easily taken them for himself many times, but they're swiped away at the last minute. But since Eggman is aware of the Chaos Emeralds and that Sonic can always access them, why does he even try? A being of Sonic's caliber, enhanced by the power of the Chaos Emeralds, can easily take out Eggman's entire arsenal, which would explain why he teams up with man-made horrors beyond our comprehension so often. But even then, Sonic defeats those easily. He defeated Solaris and the End, for crying out loud. Talk about an IQ of 300, it never benefits him. How many victories does he even have? And don't say Starved Eggman, because that's not canon and a whole other can of worms. Anyway, Sonic, Amy, and Tails are team fighters in this tournament because I guess the best fighter, Knuckles, has to get the Master Emerald again. That's okay, I love Knuckles. But yeah, then they all skedaddle. Then Eggman calls Breezy from the Death Ex, saying the kinds of things you'd say if you rang up Microsoft tech support, only to realise it was an Indian man trying to give you a virus for the 3rd time this week.
Right, I'll tell you what, you fat little cunt.
Then, Team Fighters arrives at Casino Park, the only saving grace of Sonic Heroes to my eyes. Half of that being its phenomenal level theme. Breezy enthusiastically greets them. Sonic takes her hand and walks with her, which Amy is not having, so she kills Breezy in her sleep! Just kidding, she's just mad jealous. I mean, I would be too if my crush was walking with fine shit instead of me. Then Breezy discusses the rules with Sonic. Sonic says his only rule is that it doesn't take place at night. She tries to negate that, but Sonic walks off, so she obliges. And then Amy notices Honey the cat, because with a design like that you would spot her amidst the crowd, wouldn't you? Amy gets super excited seeing Honey. Again, yeah, I would too. She's awesome. They're all introduced to each other. Amy and Honey recite her catchphrase, much to Sonic and Tails' disgruntlement. Now, something to note with Honey is she's a walking advertisement for herself. Her personality is if those check out my music SoundCloud comments were an adorable cat girl. Honey then notices Amy's outfit is actually a piece from her Dreamcasters line, and excites Amy by saying there's plans to re-release the outfit under the Rose Collection title. Yeah, Honey is canonically where Amy got her outfit from. It's funny, really. When we see Amy after Fighter, she's got a new outfit, coincidentally, after meeting Honey. That is just so cute. Sonic asks why Honey's here. Bit rude of him. Honey says she's competing to promote herself. I mean, yeah, I'd want to buy the merch of someone who was in a fighting tournament with literally Sonic the mother-freaking Hedgehog. Tails explains why Team Fighters are here, and Honey says if she wins, she'll hand the emerald to them. Confident of her to think that she can win, but you don't know what this pussy is capable of. The hooligans are the hooligans. They enlist Knuckles as an ally, who's accompanied by Chip in his search for the Master Emerald shards. No, Knuckles, did you lose them again? Her next appearance is in part 2 of this story, being issue 269. Lol. Funny number. Breezy is reflecting on her previous encounter with Sonic, and notes that despite her no-good behavior and Sonic's victory in spite of it, she can still manipulate him. As she enjoys herself in her office, not in that way. Sonic ends his first battle with SEGA Sanshiro. I have no idea who that is, you can tell I'm summarizing a summary here. He wins though. Amy warns Sonic that it's approaching sunset, so he transforms into Sonic the Hedgehog, and while grumpy, he settles in his room, and watches the rest of the matches on TV, cause he can't be seen as the Hedgehog in public. And then this next part is interesting. Amy fights SBO, which is a strange matchup, and she wins. I really don't know how she managed to beat SBO. Yes, Amy is skilled, but then that calls into question why she's not utilized in the games much these days. If she's such a great fighter, why doesn't she A, help Sonic on his own missions, or B, go on her own mission? She does have plenty of hobbies, sure, but why would she train in martial arts so much and become incredibly skilled only to whack a couple badniks with a hammer, or Sonic when he gets on her nerves? If she's so skilled, why is she ultimately a side character? How did she get captured by Metal? Do you know how much danger she's been in and not fought her way out of? Oh, it says she wins her fight while SBO watches nervously. My mistake. Elsewhere, Knuckles and Chip find shards of the Master Emerald on a lady dressed with jewels and manage to retrieve it from her. Then Knuckles sees Tails fighting on screen and concludes that Sonic is likely there too. Scratch appears, looking like he's out for trouble. Turns out he just wanted to tell Knuckles that he's going to be late for his match. This bewilders Knuckles because he doesn't remember entering. Classic Knuckles. However, he lights up when Chip tells him he could win a Chaos Emerald. Confused where Honey is? I'm getting there, Jesus, be patient. So the next fight is Tails versus Honey. She wins by distracting him. In an outrage, Cream screams that Honey's cheated, causing everyone to gasp. SBO fights Bean, but loses because Bean evades his attack while provoking him with offensive language, which is hilarious to visualize.
Why won't you move?
Well, you fucking shithead, it's because you're a bastard that gets no bitches because you've got a tiny dick and you're a quivering pussy with an ass flattened and the protest is a chin.
Bro, this is a kid's franchise.
Fuck you!
Then Bean trips him out of the ring, and Charmy and Vector are not having it. Knuckles and Bark fight, Knuckles demolishes him. That's funny, he's weak sauce in the game. Rouge and Omega cheer, Shadow's apathetic and just sits back on the couch. Yes, average Shadow activities, I guess. Amy and Honey are cheering like a middle-aged white woman who's just met Taylor Swift. Tails and SBO are sad about their losses. Amy tries to cheer him up and fails. Honey tells Tails that because he lost to her, he won't have to fight Knuckles, which makes Amy realize she'll be fighting Knuckles instead, proving once and for all that he absolutely would hit a woman. This also means Honey is gonna fight Sonic. The hooligans are the hooligans. Eggman says that he'll force Sonic to play by his rules, meaning he's no longer fighting for merely an emerald, but additionally his own life. Bro, what did he do to you? And then Metal Sonic flies to Casino Park. Issue 270 sees the next installment of this saga, where the stakes are raised. We get a flashback that's just before Sonic Heroes. I have a lot to say about that game, and hardly any of it is nice. Casino Park slaps though. Yay, that's the location! Eggman and Breezy discuss the gambling fantasies, but Breezy realizes that Eggman's being too nice to be Eggman. So he reveals that it was Neo Metal Sonic the whole time. Back in the present, Bean and Nak fight, and Sonic finds this hysterical. Tails, on the other hand, is butthurt that he lost to a girl, because despite his own IQ, he can't fathom that women are good at anything other than the laundry. Misogynistic fuck. But Sonic tells him it's okay, as he's had many victories in the past. Yeah, Tails, you defeated Eggman all by yourself in Station Square.
All by myself!
This comforts Tails. Nak is struggling to fight against Bean, but after realizing that Breezy had set the matches up, he forces Bean to pretend he lost. This sets off a lot of commotion where Sonic realizes there's something fishy going on. Espio realizes this too and tells Sonic to keep his guard up. Then Amy and Knuckles fight. Knuckles shows no mercy and absolutely throttles her. He launches her into the air and right into the bleachers. But then, he feels downhearted, as he thought the match had already started. But Amy wasn't ready, as she was overthinking how Sonic would react to her losing. Me-coded. Anyway, Amy's now in the ER. Not really, she's just in the medical room where Sonic promises to avenge her once he's dealt with Honey. What do you mean after he deals with Honey? Honey and Sonic are fighting. Honey tells Sonic that she's noticed the rising tension and has decided to throw the fight. Sonic agrees, but says they should give the people a show regardless. They begin fighting and Honey actually proves herself a challenge for Sonic. However, Sonic sees through her shadow sneak technique and throws her out of the ring, winning him the match. Meanwhile, the hooligans are discussing how Nak is going to beat Knuckles. Bark suggests a little tomfoolery.
We do a little trolling, it's called we do a little trolling.
Given Knuckles' track record of being a little bit dense. There's more to his character than that. While fighting him, Nak tries to get into Knuckles' head, but Knuckles just ignores him. And then Knuckles smacks Nak heavily against the wall and throws him out of the ring. Eggman, watching from afar, scoffs at the hooligans and tells them to deal with Sonic. Then he calls Metal Sonic. Sonic and Knuckles get into the ring to fight each other, however, unbeknownst to them both, Nak's got them right in his crosshairs. You know, because he's part of the hooligans. In issue 271, Breezy watches from high above the casino park area as the final match begins. Knuckles and Sonic get ready to fight, the crowd is in anticipation. Who will win? Don't ask questions you know you're gonna get the answer to, that's who! They trade blows and reminisce on their brawls prior. Then Sonic takes a moment to ponder how Breezy even got a Chaos Emerald in the first place. My guy, it's because they're barely guarded that well. You use them and then do fuck all once you're done. Knuckles is a bit frustrated that Sonic isn't focusing on their fight. Sonic asks Knuckles why he isn't guarding the Master Emerald on Angel Island, to which Knuckles explains that he's searching for pieces of the emerald. Out of sympathy, Sonic offers to throw the fight so Knuckles can keep searching. However, he declines. But the hooligans, my, what are they up to this time? Just a bit of terrorism. Placing bombs on the casino park's generator, using chewing gum as a substitute for a more subtle adhesive. That's not new. Nak keeps a steady aim on Sonic and Knuckles and switches to an infrared scope as he signals Bean to detonate. Suddenly, the explosion is set off, destroying the generator, killing the power. This alarms both the fighters and the audience. However, Nak gets cocky and thinks he can take out Sonic and Knuckles at once. Like, bro, if you want to do that, just shoot the cartridge. They only set you back $35, you silly weasel. So anyway, Metal Sonic crashes through a nearby wall. He walks into the casino vault and notices its defenses are down, and the door is slightly open. He snatches the Chaos Emerald. However, he does not account for the fastest thing alive being in the vicinity and now is on a high-speed pursuit. He flies to a second building. Knuckles, Amy, Espio, and Honey attack, but it's no use as he busts through the roof. Loki same, bro. However, in his escape, Tails ambushes him and retrieves the emerald, informing him that the backup generator is activating. Sonic arrives on the roof and challenges Metal on whether he'd like to fight everyone for the emerald. Eggman realizes it is futile and urges Metal to return to the Death Egg once for repairs, so he can search for the next Chaos Emerald. He hesitates before returning. Tails is then declared the winner of the championship by Sonic, as he made Metal Sonic look a fool. Later within that day, Honey signs a deal with Breezy so her staff can exclusively wear clothes Honey has self-designed, which sounds like something out of a capitalist dystopian nightmare. But that's okay, she has pigtails.
Watch your step or you'll get burned!
Breezy denotes her risk-taking demeanor. My, what an odd thing to say. That being said, Honey inquires about the day's agenda, to which she informs her that the hooligans were just a last-minute addition to the tournament, and Metal Sonic was only due to appear after their defeat. But something else is on Honey's mind. Let's think about this for a moment. You have this random tournament and you invite the most infamous people on Mobius. Things go wildly amok. An A-list enemy from Sonic's Rogue Gallery shows up and finds everything suspiciously easy, and all you have to say for yourself is, Metal Sonic is a fine example of robotic perfection. It's disappointing, but not surprising that my security wasn't good enough. And that this whole tournament has now made you worth half the planet? Honey's well in her right mind to be feeling a little uneasy. I mean, look at her face. Does this look like someone who's just gonna stomach the fact she's just done business with someone so narcissistic and that you fell so easily into a trap? Of course not! Breezy's completely volatile, and this, mind you, 16-year-old girl has just realized that after doing her a favor so huge without even realizing it. Then after, she likens Honey to herself because she just so happened to use dirty yet permissible tactics to defeat Tails, and says she'll understand one day. Yes. Honey's marketing tactics are definitely questionable at best, but she's not iniquitous. By the way, to my viewers that weren't raised by a thesaurus, that's just another synonym for nefarious. Honey resigns with a queasy facial expression. Meanwhile, Sonic and the others give Knuckles a ride to search for the Master Emerald. I'm going to pause here because from these 4 issues we can grasp a lot about Honey the Cat's personality and who she is. Frankly, you can grasp a lot from these 4 panels alone. Honey is a bright and bubbly young girl with an exceptional understanding of economics, marketing, and business. However, she's not just some bright-eyed, bushy-tailed cat girl. No, she can see when someone is telling half the truth or less, and is willing to call attention to it. She herself is a businesswoman and definitely knows how to attract customers, but that does not mean she likes the way others in her field operate, and she knows she doesn't have to. Let's take another look at her facial expressions after her exchange with Breezy. You notice a sudden change in her demeanor once she's out of Breezy's sight? Could her attitude be a facade she has to put up to appease other corporate scumbags? It's possible, and frankly quite likely. Need I remind you that Honey wasn't even supposed to be a Sonic character in the first place. She's only here due to popular demand, and they gave her a phenomenal personality here. And managing to encapsulate her entire character in just 1 page better than any way I've ever seen shows the writers know what they're doing. So, with a bold start, what's next for Honey the Cat? Well, her next appearance is very brief, so I'm not going to summarize the whole issue. However, she appears to be her ordinary self, and is doing quite well. Sally is troubled with finding a table at a restaurant. She's running errands for someone, I think. I don't know. I'll correct myself when I've read the whole issue. She spots Honey with a delightfully sweet smile on her face. She waves to Sally and offers to help. This is just really sweet. She doesn't even know what Sally needs yet and is already willing to help. She's altruistic, which is nice to see. Sally explains her situation, and Honey offers the table she herself had booked in exchange for a design job, an offer so mutually beneficial that Sally happily agrees to it. So again, I've not bothered to read this whole comic, but Honey here is seen training with a punching bag and offers to help save the world. She makes a final appearance in the Archie Comics. It's in issue 287, the conclusion of the whole Archie Sonic saga. A brief cameo of her smiling now that the world has been restored. And that's the last we see of her really, outside of a couple cameos in the IDW comics. But those were 4 years ago, in 2021. A fact I'm still struggling to come to terms with. Hey, time works in mysterious ways, but perhaps as it goes on, we'll see Honey again. But if not, I've already got my fix of cute girls with dark pigtails in Genshin Impact's Hu Tao. Although, if this is the last we'll see of Honey, it was sweet while it lasted. A Sonic character we don't see all too much of, but are always treated to a delight when we do. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you don't look sweet, you're not wearing honey.